In this video, I'm learning anime skills in real life. You see, I recently watched an anime where the main character catches a bullet with chopsticks. This got me thinking. We've all seen anime characters aura form with the craziest skills ever. But how hard would it be to actually do these skills in real life? And are they even possible? To find out, over the next 30 days, I'm challenging myself to learn 5 insanely difficult and cool skills from anime. Starting with... Okay, I know you're probably thinking that catching a bullet with chopsticks is impossible, because honestly, I thought that too. But it turns out that even though it's never actually been done yet, theoretically, it can be done. Just not with real bullets. You see, this little formula means if it can stop it, it could catch it. So, apart from me not wanting to straight up die attempting this, the reason I'm not attempting this with actual real bullets is because, now this might be a shocker, chopsticks can't stop a bullet. This leaves me with 3 options. Airsoft are just way too small. These rubber balls would probably work, but I tested them on a watermelon and the rubber ball didn't just hit it. It entered it. Like 3 inches. Which, to be fair, might not seem like a lot unless you're a watermelon. Or my ex. But either way, I'm not taking that to the chest. This just leaves us with paintballs. Alright, everyone meet Simon.
Hello.
In the last video, his aim was so bad that he makes my 90-year-old grandma look like goddamn John Wick. So, I found a way to lock the paintball gun in place. All he has to do now is pull the trigger and try not to that up. Initially, things were actually going pretty well. Because the gun was locked in place, the shots were hitting basically in the same spot every time. We made a bunch of adjustments and repositioned where I was holding them, and not long after that, we actually made contact. But a new problem arose. Oh my god, it broke the... Oh no. This thing completely demolished my chopsticks. To be fair, these were the same chopsticks I got from my Panda Express order that day, so that's probably on me. But these aren't gonna work. I need to order some reinforced metal chopsticks. So while we wait for those to arrive, let's start knocking off some of the more easy anime skills and then work our way up to the more harder, insane ones. Blue Lock. If you aren't familiar with the show, it's basically a highlight reel of impossible soccer moves, and people have tried just about all of them in real life. That is, except for one, and that's the exact one I'm gonna learn.
シュートモーション瞬間吸収タップリフト凪誠志郎だ
To complete this trick, you first have to fake volley a kick, and then catch the ball mid-air on top of your foot. Then, with the ball controlled, you scoop it behind you. Once here, you quickly kick the ball down, causing it to bounce high in the air. And finally, you jump and roundhouse kick the ball mid-air into the goal. I started off by just trying to get comfortable with the ball on my foot. If you play soccer, this is probably really easy for you. Simon was able to do it like instantly. Unfortunately, it did not go the same for me. After about an hour and a half of spamming it over and over again, I basically made 0 progress. But hey, you know what they say, new day, new me, baby, let's get it. I was still really bad, but over time, I was starting to get better at controlling the ball. So I decided to implement the fake shot beforehand. This makes controlling the ball a lot harder. The main thing that helped me catch the ball was cushioning the blow. But when you're doing the fake kick beforehand, you can't cushion it as easily. This was another huge learning curve and took me a whole day just to get used to it. Finally, I was starting to feel good about the catch. Was I consistent though? Absolutely not. But it felt like I was good enough to move on to the next step. I tried this part a couple times and I was so confused. I went back and analyzed the video again and dude, talk about top 10 anime betrayals. It turns out what Nagi does is straight up impossible. In the anime, the ball is basically glued to his foot. No matter how fast or what I did at what angle, it would always hit the ground before I could do anything. To fix this small issue, I figured out if I just... Nah, okay. I figured out if I rotate my body and extend my leg out at the same time, I can sometimes get a kickoff with the amount of airtime I need for the final part. Once I had that down, I started practicing the whole skill front to back for 4 days. I initially thought it would only take like 1 or 2 days to complete, and while I was able to get some decent attempts, I still wasn't able to get it. I was getting so close, like it was nearly perfect. But here's the problem. If it's not perfect, it's not aura. Half-assed tricks don't farm aura. They farm disappointment. So the next day, I promised myself I wasn't leaving until I got it. And only 10 tries in, this happened.
Shoot motion. 瞬間吸収 Let's go!
With the blue lock skill completed, we can now move on to the next skill. But before that, I'd like to say a huge thanks to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. With over 38 million users worldwide and over 20,000 excellent Trustpilot reviews, CyberGhost is one of the best VPNs out there. For example, you know those shady pop-up ads you accidentally click on when you're watching anime? Have no fear, because CyberGhost reroutes your traffic through encrypted servers in over 100 countries, meaning nobody, not even CyberGhost themselves, can see what you're doing. It also lets you unlock 40 plus streaming platforms from anywhere on Earth. So even if the anime you want to watch is country locked, you can still access it. Just one subscription will protect 7 devices. So you can hook up your phone, tablet, laptop, smart microwave, life-size Evangelion mech, whatever. It works on all major systems. Right now they're offering 84% off, just $2.03 per month, plus 4 months free. There's also a 45-day money-back guarantee. So even if you decide to ghost CyberGhost, no hard feelings. I'm a longtime anime fan and I've been using VPNs to stream shows forever, and honestly, CyberGhost is by far the best one I've tried. So if you want to support my channel and also get a really awesome service, click the first link in the description and try it out. Alright, let's learn the next skill. The next skill I'm learning is Itachi's insane accuracy with his kunai. He's able to cut a tiny string, which then releases another kunai he then hits out of midair. To recreate this skill, I bought these knives that are extremely sharp, and I made this rig so that once I cut the string, the target will fall and I'll have to hit it before it lands. To pull this skill off, I've got to be extremely accurate to cut the string and be quick enough to hit the target once it falls to the ground. So to practice, I decided to venture out into the forest and do a training arc just like Itachi. This was definitely a good idea because my first attempts, yeah, they look like that. Dude, it like makes a noise when it's flying back at me in the air. It's scary. I tried throwing them at the target for like an hour, and the knife literally went everywhere except for sticking in the target. I did eventually get it. Oh my god. But immediately after that, I was garbage again. To get to the point where I was comfortable throwing the knives, I had to go back for like 3 days straight. I was trying everything. Different distances, different power on the throw, even different pants. I had to put these on because I feel like the anime pants should help, but I don't know. We'll see. Ultimately, I decided it was the location's fault because of the huge amount of mosquitoes. They were literally in my ear as I was trying to throw. Fucking hell, man. So I decided to try a different location, and I kid you not, literally 5 minutes into recording, this happened. Feeling super confident about my throwing abilities, I felt like it was finally time to actually give the skill a go. I headed to the beach at the ass crack of dawn and just started absolutely firing away attempts. I was able to hit the rope a bunch of times, but none of them cut it. Eventually, I did get one that cut it, but it turns out my setup was faulty. The string got caught on the top of the log and actually just like stayed there and it didn't fall, so this was a massive fail. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Because after this, instead of string, I had the idea to use fishing line. And it's hard to tell, but with the right lighting, it actually looks a lot more like the clip than the string did. After about 40 attempts of missing over and over again, I finally cut the string. But unfortunately, I was too slow and I missed the plate. I was bummed I missed it. But hitting the first string so quickly was a small win. And I needed that. Because for 3 hours straight, I just kept missing over and over again. But in the end, my dedication finally paid off. And man, it felt good. Go, bro. Oh my god. Hold on, stop typing. I know technically this is a video game skill and should have been in my last video, but the video this is from is literally called If Apex Legends Had an Anime Series, so I'm gonna count it. All right, here's what we gotta do. We first throw the bat with our left hand, hitting the bottom on the ground, and then catching it with our right hand. Then we toss it back to the left hand, spin it downwards for 2 full rotations, and it should somehow bounce back up into our hand like a perfectly trained metal boomerang. Finally, we do a baseball bat swing, but we let go at the perfect millisecond, spinning it 1 rotation before catching it and finishing the swing. Right away, I tried step 1 of this trick, and even though it looks easy, I quickly found out how hard it is. And I'm not just talking about the trick. Ow. Yeah, this baseball bat is fully metal, making the learning process that much more painful. After a while of trying to figure it out and trying different things, I was starting to make progress. Oh, yo, that's it. I just gotta do that. And not long after... Oh my god. After some more practice, I was able to get it a few times in a row. So I decided to move on to the second part. It didn't take long for me to realize this step was going to be a lot harder and unfortunately a lot more painful. You see, to do this trick, you really have to put some power on the spin. And if you don't have the exact right power or the right angle on your spin, the bat either goes flying in some random direction or becomes a horny sledgehammer with a crush on your hand. Fast forward a unfathomable amount of attempts later, and I finally got it for the first time. But apparently getting it once does not make it click. After about an hour and a half of getting my hand hit by the fully metal baseball bat at Mach 3, I had to stop because the pain was just getting way too unbearable. The next day though, I came prepared. Y'all can roast me in the comments, it's fine. But I've got a deadline and I can't afford to take any breaks due to injury. These gloves weren't a miracle cure by any means, it still hurt a lot, but they did help and I was getting actually quite consistent. So with this part of the trick under my belt, I decided to move on to the final stage. Okay, yeah, my first few attempts did go like this. But this one actually came pretty quick. It only took me 5 minutes of trying to get this. The problem is, as you can see, comparing how it's supposed to look like to my first attempts is like comparing a warm hug from Scarlett Johansson to like a warm hug from your Uber driver. In order to really aura farm with this trick, it has to be done in one clean fluid motion. And that's where things get tricky. Okay, what the f? Well, the technical side may not be that hard. The mental side is extremely hard. To get it to spin around properly, you have to yank the blunt metal object towards your head. And yeah, I quickly found out your brain would rather do literally anything else. After failing, I kid you not, probably thousands of times. All right. And just destroying my hands, I was starting to get a lot better. Oh my god, I get it! So I decided it was finally time to put it all together. I was going back to the track every day trying to complete this trick. For some reason, I just forgot how to do the first 2 steps, so yeah, that was frustrating. It took a lot longer than I thought it would, but I eventually got it. Yes! Yes! With the reinforced chopsticks in my hand, it was now time to complete the final skill. Simon and I took our positions, started firing, and quickly realized there was another problem. We both low-key knew that if I was gonna catch the paintball with chopsticks, it was gonna be a complete fluke. But even still, we highly underestimated just how fast these things were going. Without any major changes, there was no way of this working. So we put our combined 2 brain cells together, and our first genius idea was to increase the distance between us. That way there'd be more air resistance and hopefully slow the paintball down. I'm so scared. This seemed like a great idea at the time, but let's just say it's a good thing Canada has free healthcare. Oh, okay. Yeah, doing this drastically decreased the accuracy, so I was quickly turning into Swiss cheese. Somehow Simon even managed to ding me right in the forehead. At this point, we've gone through 250 paintballs, meaning that we now only had half our supply left to pull this off. Our next idea was to add friction because on some attempts, it would slip through the chopsticks, so we tried wrapping the ends with super sticky tape. Alright. Well, that's not gonna work. Yeah, this didn't work either, so we tried making the tape into a basket to catch the paintball. And by doing this, we were actually finally able to stop the paintball, but the impact exploded it. The paintball gun was just way too powerful. We set up this table and put it behind me to block an accidental paintball from hitting a cross-map trick shot on my neighbors. And the paintballs literally punched perfectly circular holes right through it. At this point, the only way we were gonna pull this off was somehow slowing the paintball velocity down a lot. And luckily, Simon had one final idea. Okay, so basically the paintball gun uses these CO2 cartridges to shoot the paintballs, and as you fire shots, the gas in here gets weaker and weaker. When the gas runs out, the gun won't shoot anymore. But right before the canister is completely empty, there's a very small window of about 3 shots where it'll still shoot, just much slower. For reference, a paintball shot on a fresh CO2 can shoots about 360 feet per second. And in that tiny window we're aiming for, it'll be about 10. This slower velocity should make it easier to catch and also allows us to shoot from a much closer range. With only 1 CO2 canister and a few paintballs left, it all came down to 3 final shots. The first and second shot missed, so everything was riding on this final shot. And yeah, that happened. So this myth was pretty much busted, but I still wanted to catch the paintball somehow. So I got Simon to throw the paintball at it. Yeah, even that didn't work. I mean... So for all of you that thought this was impossible, turns out you're right. You can't catch a fucking bullet with chopsticks. But I'm not giving up just yet. There's still a ton of anime skills I want to learn in real life, so let me know in the comments which ones you guys want to see me do, and I'll learn them. Also, YouTube really thinks you'll like this video, so why not give it a watch? Also, don't forget to click the link in the description to get the special discount CyberGhost VPN is giving our channel. This app will protect your data while you browse and give you access to all blocked content on the internet for just $2.03 per month. It's totally risk-free, so check it out in the link in the description.